Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer.
But who is he?
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer.
And who is he?
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer.
And what he do?
And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, board-certified criminal defense lawyer. Today we're reacting to Bam Margera. Now let's just we'll talk a little bit about his background and tell you what's going on with him and some of the things that I see as I see it through the lens of what I do. Before we get to that, this is brought to you by eSign.com. eSign.com is an effective way to remotely do business. Let's say you are in the woods and people are after you, especially the Pennsylvania State Police. Well, you can't very well go out in the public now, can you? You need to get a lawyer because you got a warrant out for your arrest. So what do? You go to eSign.com, you download the app, you get 3 free signatures a month, and you sign a retainer agreement with a lawyer, and then he gets you out of everything just like I would. eSign.com. If it's not eSign, nobody signs. An e-signature is just as good as a regular signature, so just go ahead and use eSign.com. It's an effective way to remotely do business. You never know when you're going to need something like this. I know I use it all the time because I'm in the business and whatever, but download the app. If you need to get a business deal done, you're at the ready. So let's talk about Bam Margera. Now remember, Bam Margera was part of the crew who had, all the Jackass movies. And I remember when those came out. Michael actually turned me on to them when he was a youngster. I think probably in middle school, if I'm not mistaken. And they're actually hilarious movies. They do crazy things, and I'm surprised that nobody's gotten more hurt. But like Steve-O on that show got sober. They lost one of their good friends, Ryan Dunn, in an accident in his Porsche. And now Bam Margera is got a warrant out for his arrest in Pennsylvania. According to police reports, he's at his family home, and he gets into an argument with his brother, and he leaves a really ominous note behind. If you call the effing cops, I'm gonna F you up, blah blah blah. I'm gonna kill everyone in here, and it really is just awful stuff. If you even fucking think of calling the police on me, I will officially fuck you up. And then he goes on to say that I'll kill you, I'll put a bullet in your head. He also said he would kill everyone else in the household. Now, and evidently there was a physical altercation not only with him, but with somebody that was on the road or somebody that was in his path as they called the police. What he did then is, the police came and he wasn't there. He took off into the woods. So now you've got a guy, doesn't seem to want to take any advice from anybody or stay sober. And so he's in a tailspin. And I just really hope somebody gets to him before he gets to himself. This is really a very high intensity situation. And the drugs and alcohol, if that's what we're dealing with here, aren't going to help anything. At one point, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was worth like anywhere between $50 and $100 million. He was worth a lot of money. His folks were managing his affairs. Not sure if he's got any money left or not, but he has a son. I don't know if he's still married, but he's just on a tear. Now he's facing 4 counts of terroristic threats with the intent to terrorize another. 1 of simple assault, and a final count of harassment while subjecting the other to physical contact. Here's the thing. In all honesty, in the broad scheme of things, those charges, while they sound, ominous, they're not that serious. But they probably don't feel anything less than just absolutely horrific to Bam. When you go on the run, this is what I worry about, and this is how these situations sometimes play out. You go on the run, and you run out of money, and then you get in a standoff, or you take yourself out. A lot of times these types of situations result in suicide. Whether this is a combination of mental health, which it certainly is, and or chemical health, which it seems like it is, what happens is these guys tend to inflate the gravity of what they're feeling, which compounds their legal situation. Now he's got a warrant, and with the threats that he's made, he's considered super dangerous. Whether he takes himself out, whether cops encounter him and he tries to do suicide by cop. I mean, let's hope none of that happens. But there is nothing, and this is just a message to anybody out there who's been experiencing anything like this. You hear about people who are going through whatever, they're cheating on their wife and then they eliminate their wife, they eliminate their children or whatever. Nothing is so bad that you have to go down that road. We've experienced it. Michael and I have experienced it firsthand. Watching the death of a loved one, at their own hand. There's got to be a better way. There always is a better way. And so the best thing that Bam can do right now is just find a flipping cop and turn himself in. Don't say anything. Don't do any self-snitching. But just, because right now all they have is Jesse's statement that he said that he's going to kill everybody. Okay. That by itself is not that serious of a charge. You got an assault, which is like a domestic assault. But on the scale of 1 to 10, it's about a 3. 3, maybe a 4, if that. It's not so grave that you can't fix it. I mean, it's a very fixable problem. But here's the thing. When you have the history that Bam does, so you have a long history of partying to cover up what you are experiencing, the pain that he has been covering up, it's just been for years and years and years and years. And you think about it, all those guys in Jackass were his buddies. And he couldn't maintain sobriety enough to make it through the production of that film. And so now we have him on the run, which is somebody's on the run like this, it's really flipping dangerous. He's only been on the run for a day or two, so it's not, I've had clients that went on the run for, a month, and, they were glad they got caught at the end. I've had other clients who have been barricaded in their homes and took their own life when they got into a standoff with police. Hopefully he's not armed. Hopefully it ends peacefully. But I want everybody to take stock of where you are. If you're in a situation where your family is coming apart, and that happens a lot, and you don't know what to do, find somebody that gives you comfort. Go see a counselor. Go see a buddy. Go find your best buddy and sit down and talk things through. I mean, the state police in this case, they said that they responded to a report of a disturbance on Sunday around 11 o'clock a.m. Near Pocospan Township, which resulted in an alleged victim accusing Bam of being involved in some sort of physical confrontation. But when the cops got there, he was gone. So he ran into the woods, and now, when somebody's cornered like that, they're dangerous. They're dangerous to themselves, and they're dangerous to other people. And if he doesn't have any drugs or alcohol, which I'm sure he's probably jonesing for, it makes him even more dangerous. We don't have a situation where the cops are in the feel-good business. They just want to get him off the street any way they possibly can. And let's just hope it doesn't end with bloodshed. So let's say, for the sake of argument, they're able to find Bam and they bring him into court. The next process is determining bail. And when you go on the run like this, bail's going to be high, especially when you tell the family, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to put a bullet in your head, I'll kill everyone in the house. A judge does not want that on his shoulders or her shoulders. A judge does not want to be the one to let him out and then all of a sudden have him do something violent to his family or anybody else for that matter, or to himself. So, remember the two things that they talk about with bail. They talk about danger to the public and risk of flight, and we have both here. So the bail is probably going to be pretty high if and when they apprehend him. So when you have a situation like this, when you're talking about a judge and, if he pleads guilty or is somehow found guilty of anything, the one thing that they want to make sure is that it doesn't repeat. And so they're going to try to make sure that he doesn't use and to make sure that he gets counseling some kind of. I mean, jail is not really the answer in a situation like this. Substance abuse treatment and counseling are the two things that they're going to really emphasize. And I bet you any money, and this happens a lot. So he goes to court, and if the family doesn't want to press charges, they don't really have a choice. It's the state that presses charges. But if they don't show up to court, the only way they know anything that what he did is by the statement of the people who were witnesses there, right? Like the brother Jesse. And so if Jesse doesn't show up to court, guess what? They have to dismiss the case. That happens a lot, especially in domestic situations where the wife doesn't want to testify against the husband, so she beats feet and doesn't show up to court. If she doesn't show up to court, they have to dismiss the case. That happens a lot. So let's just hope and pray that Bam finds a safe spot, that he takes care of these warrants, and we see him kind of get sober. I'd like to see that. So. And if you find yourself in anything close to this, get some help. Get some help. Don't let it escalate. Because these things, these domestics, they escalate quickly, and they escalate in a bad, bad way. And I just hope Bam is not armed. So we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Make sure you subscribe, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, sign up for Patreon. We had our first Patreon Zoom call last weekend, and it was really fun. We had somebody from Romania that talked a little bit about the Andrew Tate situation. So we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts.
Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. 23-hour lockdown, police is at my God.